Hey everybody, this is Ryan, your commissioner, coming with that Week 10 matchup of the week. I've got a special guest here. This is Jude. RJ knows him really well, but I wanted him to say hi to everybody else. Can you say hi? Say hi. Say go royalty. Say fins up. Fins up. He's a good boy. RJ gets to hang out with him a whole lot since his wife watches him 3 days a week, and we see him in church and everything like that. So Tuesday nights, waiver nights, RJ and I always try to get a feel for who's getting what. So anyways, like always, a lot of the games this week could have a good case for being a matchup of the week. Number 1 seed me is going against Curtis. Curtis gets some flowers for coming from the last seed all the way up to the 8th seed. So he's fallen on some bad luck, but he had a good week last week, so that's good for him. Eagles game, basically RJ versus Mike, and during the Eagles bye are playing each other. Number 2 versus number 12 seed Mike. That could easily be a matchup of the week just because of the Eagles thing. Eric versus Anthony is very interesting. You know, top 6 teams going at each other, with Eric being the 6th seed. He's been coming up real nice against Anthony, our number 4 seed. Eric chose that he would do the Andrew versus Kevin 9-5 matchup. 9 seed Andrew versus 5 seed Kevin. Another interesting thing is Gary and Ben all the way down at the bottom as our number 10 and number 11 seeds. 2 champions, recent champions, all the way down at the bottom. I know they don't want to be doing that, so that could have been the matchup of the week. But what I decided to go with was Jake and Baxter. Okay, Jake coming up as the number 3 seed against Baxter as the number 7 seed, right outside the brink of making the playoffs. So I think that's the most interesting matchup of this week. Mostly, no offense Baxter, but mostly I wanted to, have Jake be highlighted because he has won 5 games in a row. Starting the season started off rough. Week 1 and 2, he lost both of the games. Then he swept against RJ in week 3. And then lost again both games, double loss to Andrew in week 4. But since then, he's been doing really well. Kevin, he swept. Anthony, he won the game, lost to median. Eric swept. Gary swept. Last week against Ben, he won the game, but again, lost to median. So again, that's 5 wins in a row. And I know that we do the apex scoring with, trying to beat the median and trying to beat your head-to-head matchup, but always beating the head-to-head is always probably what I would say is the most important thing. So that is some pretty good thing, as Jude likes to eat his feet, I guess. So there's that. So I guess then Baxter, he deserves some love as well, because at the 7th seed, he's had a pretty good run as well. Double loss week 1 against Anthony, swept against Curtis, won the game against Gary, lost to median. Double loss against Eric, but he swept the next 2 weeks against Eric and Andrew. Lost the game against me, but still scored against the median. Last 2 weeks, he's had a double loss, both against Kevin and Mike. So he's got 3 losses in a row on the flip side of the whole thing. So, and yeah, Baxter did that. So, one thing to talk about with these guys is 3 and 2 is the head-to-head matchup. So as Jake has won 3 games against Baxter's 2, so only playing 5 games against each other. Jake's got the advantage right now. So actually, in looking back at the history of these guys, this is actually a rematch of GOAT Dynasty 17. Last year's week 3 matchup of the week was Jake versus Bax as well. So getting to these games, last week Jake ended up winning that game. He scored over 200 against Baxter, so that was a good win for him. Jake made the playoffs for the first time last year, but unfortunately lost in the semis against RJ. I'm sorry, my bad. He was the number 2 seed, so he had to bye a week last week. Then he lost in the semis against RJ as well. But Baxter had already lost in the first. Yeah, I know, Baxter's funny, isn't he? He had already lost in the quarterfinals, so against RJ as well. So RJ just knocked out both of them en route to the championship, which RJ lost against Ben. But so they could have met each other in the playoffs, but Baxter had already lost that first round. GOAT Dynasty 16 was a split, so Jake and Bax both, they played each other twice. Once in the regular season, which Baxter won, and then once in the semifinals of the consolation bracket, and Jake won that one. And the Go Dynasty 15 Week 5, Baxter won, and he scored over 200 for that one. And then the first matchup of Week 10 of the Go Dynasty 14, Jake won. So this one is going to be pretty good with those guys. In Week 10's, Jake has actually never lost in Week 10. I thought that was interesting. He won in Go Dynasty 14 his rookie year against that Baxter, like I said already. Then 15, 16, 17, all wins. Last year, he even scored 212 points. So pretty good. Jacob usually performs in Week 10. So I don't know what that says about his team, but Week 10, he's got it going on. So that's pretty good. Baxter, he has been in the Go Dynasty since the 8. So in Go Dynasty 8, 1, 9, 1, 10, 11, both losses, 12, 13, both wins. Lost against Jake, like we talked about in the Go Dynasty 14. 1 and 15, lost 16, and 1 last year against myself. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So 6 and 4, Week 10. So not bad right there. So again, going back to this year's records, Jake, he got to that 10 and 8 record by having 4 of 9 high scores. So that's 4 of his points, and 6 of his 9 points are from head-to-head wins. So that's good to go there. Baxter is 8 and 10 and split both. So 4 wins against head-to-head and 4 high scores. So pretty good there. Going on to the game, nothing going to be going on tonight. You know, I always put out these matches of the week on Thursday night. We don't have any scoring going on tonight from this game. Sunday morning in Germany, we have the Colts versus the Patriots. Baxter's got Hunter Henry. Jake's got Jonathan Taylor, and he's hoping for some gay points from Matt. So I've been waiting the whole day to say that, so it felt good. All right. So then, other than that, there's not a whole lot of games that have both of these guys playing. So a lot of games, just like last week with the match of the week, they're going to be watching their game and not really having to worry. What's so funny? Not really having to worry about other people. Oh, the slobber. Not really having to worry about other things going on in that game. So Browns and Ravens, that's going to be a slugfest. Jake's hoping for some points, though, because he wants Deshaun to throw some touchdowns to Amari Cooper, and he's also got Odell Beckham on the other side. And the Steelers, of course, Jake being a hardcore Steelers fan, he's got some Steelers. He's got George Pickens, Najee Harris, and the Steelers defense, so hoping for some good points from the Steelers. Vikings and Saints have both players represented here because we have Michael Thomas from the Saints for Jake, but then Josh Dobbs from the Vikings for Baxter, so that game could be interesting for them. Bucks Titans, Baxter's got Mike Evans. I've said it before, I think Mike Evans is just always on Baxter's team. We'll have to look back to see about that. Bengals Texans, again, that could be a lot of points scored, but Baxter's the only one representing that game as he's got Dameon Pierce and Dalton Schultz. And then George Kittle for the 49ers for Jake against the Jaguars. Nobody from Baxter. Then going into the 4 o'clock games, Jake's got Saquon Barkley. Baxter's got Jason Myers. And then Bijan and Drake London. And the Arthur Smith hopefully getting fired game. So I think Baxter wants some points from the Falcons, but I think all of us speak for saying that we want the Falcons to lose because Arthur Smith is a horrible human being. After those 4 o'clock slate of games, Jake's going to be just hoping and hoping. Are you bored? Are you getting bored to death? Are you falling asleep on the video? Oh. He says Baxter's boring. Anyways, so after those 4 o'clock games, Jake's hoping for the best because he doesn't have anybody else going on. But Baxter, Sunday night, he's got Jacoby Myers and the Jets defense. And going into Monday night, he's got Gabe Davis, guy with the best last name in the whole league. So, Goats, I hope you guys have fun. Thank you for watching this. Jude, can you say, oh, you're so tired. Oh. He says, hopefully this match of the week won't be a snooze fest. But either way, I hope you guys have a great week. Horns up. And remember, be proud to be a goat. Jude, say bye. Say bye. Say bye. Oh, he's so tired. All right, see ya.